On today's show, the crazy story behind Grand Marais' favorite downtown dog. Ike has 7 lives left after a couple of tough days outdoors.
He's obviously a survivor.
Meet Ealing, Minnesota's Dreamer, a Boundary Waters outfitter who long ago made his Northwoods dream come true. And a Minnesota man's hunting dog does far more than flush and retrieve birds.
Minnesota Bound. Brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers.
Hey everybody, Laura and I welcome you to Minnesota Bound.
Up first, the story of 7 Lives Ike, a now near famous fly fishing shop dog up in Grand Marais.
Yeah, it seems like everyone in that town knows Ike, and you will too after you hear this dog's rather unbelievable tale. Dog days of summer never last forever. Grand Marais' tourism season wraps up come cool, crisp fall days. Life in this town suddenly slows down.
Looking for a customer to pet him.
Ike loves lazy days,
Mr. Ike, yes.
but misses his fly shop summer crowd. Such is the story of the dog with 7 lives left.
Yes, he's lived an interesting life. I think he's 3 now. I don't know if he's unlucky or lucky. He's obviously a survivor.
To understand Ike's story is to travel to farm country, central Minnesota, where Kirk Dilley brought Ike home all the way from the Czech Republic. Kirk wanted a hunting dog.
A Bohemian wire-haired pointing Griffon.
He hoped Ike might share his bird hunting passion. Sure looked that way Ike's first year. One night, the dogs went out for a quick run. Kirk found Ike back on the steps.
And as I walked by him, he kind of fell into me. And I thought, what in the world? And I realized he'd hurt his leg. And I thought, oh, he broke his leg. And then all of a sudden, you see a hole in his back, right next to his spine. He has no feeling in his leg, and you're thinking, oh my word.
Kirk remembered seeing a buck deer in the yard.
But I think Ike may have either stumbled on him and they just were there right away, or he may have went after him. And I think that buck kind of just pinned him to the ground with the horns, and that antler hit his spine, and it knocked out all the sensation to his leg.
Ike struggled 9 months with a lame rear leg. This promising hunter now looked lost.
I never got him over that hump of really getting to where he was really mobile and appeared not in pain and so on.
Vets eventually took Ike's leg. The surgery also broke hearts.
I just kept postponing, what am I going to do with this dog? But I finally came to the conclusion we had to do something.
Kirk put Ike up for adoption on a rescue website. Guess who called first?
And my wife subscribes to that, and she approached me about Ike.
So my profession is an occupational therapist.
Anna Sorensen had an idea.
So I kind of was like, oh boy, what did we get into here?
I tried, swimming with him and running, and the more he ran, the stronger the back end became.
From there, I was getting text updates every month or so with pictures of them sleeping with the dog, the kids playing with the dog, swimming with the dog, and then I got a video.
A grainy phone clip of Ike at full speed.
The dog was running like he had 4 legs. I mean, like a strong running dog.
Ike found new life and new energy in the Northwoods. Now healthy, Scott hunts Ike and his other dog Zeus all fall.
3-4 days a week until deer season. It's a fun story to tell, but that's only half of it, right?
Ah yes, so right. One night, Ike and Zeus snuck out an unlocked door.
I got home at about 6 o'clock, and both dogs were gone. We jumped in 2 different cars and started driving around.
The neighbors out for an ATV ride found him.
He was covered in blood, and he'd been attacked.
One of Grand Marais' 3 veterinarians happened to be on call that night.
I'm not positive they thought he was going to make it through the night.
Neighbors had seen a predator around. The trail cameras captured proof.
And they had photos of a lone juvenile wolf. I wish he could tell us what happened, but we're really thankful to have him back.
Yep,
He's working great.
Ike recovered from attack number 2.
Yeah, he's birdied.
He now
Oh, flush.
looks to be back to his old happy hunting self.
Hey.
Is that his happy face?
The biggest change, all the nicknames.
We call him Ike the Trike sometimes.
We call him 7 Lives Ike,
7 lives left, yeah.
an appropriate cliche, no longer just for cats.
My sister-in-law teases us that either he's really smart or he's really foolish.
Coming up next, Ely's dreamer creates a Northwoods reality.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Minnesota's select GMC dealers, Rapala Ice Force, Star Bank, and by Pearson Salted Nut Rolls.
It's no secret, Ely is one of the most remote and coveted towns, tucked away neatly right up on the edge of Minnesota's pure wilderness. Not too long ago, we met a local up there, Don Beans, a guy who proves that Minnesota dreams do come true. Ely, Minnesota plays to the cliches. This is canoe country where the end of the road meets pure wilderness. This town gets kinda quiet in October, a season when Mother Nature can't quite make up her mind.
Life is excellent. Yeah, I love it up here. It's couldn't be a better place to live.
Local Don Beans loves fall, the time when this grouse hunter huffs on trails less traveled.
Yeah, it's a lot of land, lots of grouse, woodcock. It's a good area.
That's the remains of the old Model T that used to take the boats from Jasper where the Fernburg Road ended.
Don hunts by his own rules,
Thing is, I only brought 2 life jackets.
even if that means crossing the creek.
Is there a name to this flowage?
This is Jasper Creek.
Jasper Creek, huh? I don't have a paddle anyway, right?
That double barrel pretty wide. Good boys.
Don always dreamed he might have a wildlife like this.
I don't think you're gonna see anybody here.
It all goes back to a hot 1970s summer day in Ohio and aspirations whipped up by a 9-year-old kid.
November 1972. We wanted to get some candy, and my mom gave us each $1, Wayne, my sister Betsy, and I, and said, let's go down to the little convenience store in the corner.
Don remembers walking with his sister and friend.
Went by the magazine rack, and there was a magazine there, Outdoor Life. I saw the magazine was like 75 cents.
He bought it and still had pennies left for a bag full of candy.
I was just thumbing through the magazine. It was the story of Bob Carey, that secret of the old Howard mine. And I saw that log cabin and like, wow, look at that.
Bob Carey coveted Ely. The longtime outdoor writer and Northwoods icon penned a piece about the local grouse woods.
Bob Carey, as my pickup truck rolled back toward Ely, gusts of sharp fall air whipped through the cab. The way Bob wrote it, it just stuck in my mind, you know, this is neat. I got to see that at Northwoods. I knew back then, right when I read it, I'm going to come see this area. I was, you know, I'm 9 years old and just mesmerized me. I mean, I couldn't wait through high school. As soon as I saved my money, I bought a red Jeep CJ5, packed up, and Tuesday morning I was gone. My mom had gone to church and I was gone. I loaded up my Jeep and just took off and pulled into Healy on April 18th, '83.
And Don never left. He worked various outdoor jobs and eventually built his own Boundary Waters outfitting business. Nowadays, he also owns Ely's Jasper Guest Cabins and even the coffee shop back in town. Every great reality starts with a dream. Don Beans brainstormed all this and made the Northwoods his reality.
I wanted to have a lifestyle. It wasn't more of a career, it wasn't a job. I wanted to make a living and have my lifestyle be that. It's been a good life.
Still ahead, meet Pele the Wonder Dog. And later, a Minnesota-bound classic all about the passion behind the hunt.
Closed captioning on Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Connecticut.
Dogs have always been known as man's best friend. They're great companions in the field and, of course, always at home. Travis Frank introduces you to one bird dog with an unlikely best friend.
Just like every sunrise in pheasant country, every bird dog has a unique story to tell. At Oak Tree Lodge near Clark, South Dakota, Brian Huey prepares his bird dog, Pele, for a special day in the field.
Are you ready? Are you?
Today, his 10-year-old son, Hayden, joins them on his very first hunting trip. Pele happens to be Hayden's best friend.
Good girl. Good girl. The name Pele is a goddess of fire in Hawaii.
Like many first-time hunters, Hayden's mind quickly wanders.
I'm excited what we're having for lunch. I don't know what.
You're excited what we're having for lunch?
Yeah.
What do you feel like?
Chicken nuggets and pizza.
Chicken nuggets and pizza?
Yeah.
Scott Franzen hopes to show Hayden a wild bird option he can add to his lunch menu.
The first one's always exciting. The first shot, you know, getting that underway, and you know, Pele flushed the bird. She went out and retrieved it.
Following his dog in the field, Hayden gets a view at Pele's second best skill.
She's more than just a hunting dog to us. Her heritage is of a therapy dog. Hayden has been diagnosed with ADHD and anxiety, and he's exhibited, you know, different traits of both of those diseases over the last several years. Hayden will come home from school and she sees right away whether or not it's a good day or a bad day. She does what she can to change that.
She comes by me, then she kind of like lays on me, then we kind of like just like fall asleep. And we just get back up and have a smile.
The unbreakable bond between a young boy and his hunting dog seems to be creating a new hunter. Back at Oak Tree Lodge, the bird dogs get a break, and Hayden takes aim at his first clay target.
Whoa!
Got it! On the side, a proud dad savors the moment.
He was apprehensive to start, and he wanted to do it, and now that's all he's talking about. He loves it. He's like, he wants to go trap shooting again, and he's talking about when can I get a 20-gauge shotgun. It lit the fire.
A fire that spread to the other hunters in camp.
I think any hunter can remember the first time they got to handle a gun, both the excitement and a little bit of the fear.
Leaving his fears behind, Hayden follows his dad and Pele back into the field.
Follow this edge. And
Brian hopes for a golden finish to Hayden's first hunt.
oh, look at them all.
Thankfully, in pheasant country, dreams do come true.
That's what South Dakota hunting's all about.
Pele, go get it!
When you think up of a South Dakota hunt, that's what comes to mind.
Walking fields full of pheasants with best friends at your side.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by your local carrier dealer, Radco Truck Accessories, and by Totem Resorts, the premier destination for world-class fishing.
My dad has always loved fall in the woods. In fact, I remember him spending a lot of time there when I was a kid.
I bet he did. Today's Minnesota Bound Classic takes Ron back in time to a few of his old favorite hunting spots.
The question is easy, the answer is not. Why do I hunt? What do I smell in the autumn air that a growing number of Americans do not? To me, the fall season means hunting. For most Americans, it means football. Now we are mostly urban dwellers whose connections to the land and its wild game are slowly fading, like the last light of day. So, too, the last hunting season of the 20th century bears little resemblance to the first. Near the turn of the century, hunting was unregulated and excessive. Today, hunters follow seasons, limits, and the rule of fair chase. As we begin a new millennium, some 15 million Americans call themselves hunters and ask themselves why.
It's hard to write about hunting if you write as often as a daily newspaper reporter does. You know what it was like all the years that you were cranking out stories week after week. You're always trying to find a new angle on hunting.
But do words and pictures really convey the personal nature of hunting?
You got to be true, you got to be honest, you got to admit your mistakes, and be humble about your successes.
We got another survivor going there.
And tell it like it is without glorifying, the actual hunting part of it.
One answer to why we hunt may be because we always have. After all, like the wolf, we too evolved as predators with canine teeth. But our hunting motives seem to go far beyond those of a wolf. Do I follow Raven to hear the rush of wild wings or the rush of my heart? Do we wade in the marsh muck and hunt the sky to fire a gun, or to lift our spirits with the majesty of waterfowl? To hunt the white-tailed deer is to discover, and yes, love, the animal's grace and guile. These are instinctive gifts, not seen in a petting zoo. Did I say love? To be a hunter who loves the hunted is its own puzzling paradox, but it's for real. As we end the 20th century, America's hunters leave a remarkable legacy of wildlife conservation. More deer, more elk, more antelope, more wild turkeys, more wildlife in more places. These wildlife success stories were paid for by hunters through license fees or contributions to wildlife organizations, putting your money where your heart is. That's love, isn't it? And that's why I hunt.
I feel fortunate enough that my dad has passed on those same passions to my sister and I, and now my nephew.
Love it. Well, that about does it for us this week.
Don't forget to pass along your favorite hunting camp traditions. We always want to hear about your stories.
And in the meantime, don't forget to introduce a kid to the great outdoors.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433. To get more Minnesota Bound, including full episodes, go to mnbound.com. And to follow our latest adventures, like us on Facebook.